It is a world of darkness, and the warriors of Gaia fight over the fate of the world against their enemy, the cosmic force of entropy and corruption, the Wyrm. Unbeknownst to mankind, they wage a war against the coming apocalypse, with new cubs taking up the cause to fight with fang, clave, and gun and claw. They give the Wyrm no quarter. They give it only rage.
As you all wake and prepare to leave the village, Snarls, having concluded his necessary meditations and communing with the spirits, paying chiminage to the spirits which he feels are owed something for Darren's violence, it is when he returns that the pack begins to prepare to leave. What preparations are made, and in what forms is everyone going?
I'm gonna go into lupus form.
I'm shifting into lupus. Holy shit. That's
You're right,
bad
you
much.
did enjoy breaking your legs.
Thank you, sir. I will. If only I could exceed my my maximum rage.
Well,
Might I note, Dave steps back, seeing Darren having problems. He might get mad. I went back.
Darren, you fortunately just stay in Hamid, as you can't quite urge your body to shift.
Damn it.
Tara will, as everyone is getting up and getting ready, she'll make, a sweep of the area because, fucking vampires.
Perception, investigation.
And being in lupus.
Okay. Save for the blinding blizzard, which shrouds everything from any real distance. It's as clear as it's gonna be.
Can I try to shift again?
Yes.
Can I
Thank
try
you.
to look around again?
As Darren shifts into the Galbro, still a piece of moose meat stuck between his teeth that he's trying to pick out with his now growing nails. By the time everyone is prepared to go, and Tara returns from a brief excursion, seeing mainly snow and a lot of white with a little gray, and that it is very cold. Darren is just shifted to Krynos, his now massive claw taking the piece of meat from between his teeth clean out as she checks in on everyone. Soon after, you are all ready and on the move.
Let's go.
The trip is about an hour long, just as it was before, the blizzard making travel difficult. Darren, who eventually shifts into his lupus form, then is able to keep up with much greater ease as his bipedal form is not sinking so deep into the layers upon layers of fallen snow. The winds pelt your fur, keeping it close to your body, and oftentimes you're forced to look at an angle upward, your head against the wind, so to keep the snow out of your eyes. It is biting cold, your fur keeping you warm and able to move. It takes some time, but eventually, the village. Nestled in the fog-shrouded mountains of northern Saskatchewan, the village of Kroder's Pass is a small place, a mere 150 miles from the nearest metropolitan city. It is a world of its own, alien and yet familiar in its rustic and very simplistic charm. The mist rise from the mountains and fall silently through the fields and forest of the village, with the blizzard making it all the more difficult to see more than the outlines until you approach closer. Just as you begin to come near the village, you see a heavy industrial truck rolling on thick wheels through the snow, the back of it reading Grand Enterprise.
Which way is it headed?
North. You can see men, for whatever ungodly reason, in the back of it, clustered together with heavy coverings and jackets riding up, noses red already, towards the mine.
Where did they come from?
The village. It's the only place out here.
By this point, we're by the village, yeah.
Close enough that you can see the outline of a couple of different buildings, though the true scale of the place is difficult to make out, and a lot of it is impossible to see.
With sense 1, would I be able to sense any worm-tainted beings nearby?
Roll your perception and occult. There is the presence of a bane somewhere in the village. You can't precisely pinpoint where, but you can feel its tainted essence emanate from somewhere within the village's road. Many buildings, houses.
You hear as Snarls, who is slightly ahead of everyone else, growls and mumbles, saying, "There's a bane in the village. I can sense him in my blood, my bones. We'll find him later in the Umbra."
We find it and we kill it. Now we should probably look for some clothes when we walk in the streets.
Looking at the outline of the village, would we see any large, storehouses or maybe, bunkhouses?
Perception and alertness. As you move a bit closer into the village, you can see that, save for houses, a service station, sheriff's office, and taking another quick look around, a single diner by the name of Luke's Place. This village has very little in the way of infrastructure, and it seems to have remained that way for a long time. The very nature of the constructions here are old, dating back maybe 100 years, possibly older.
I look at
a place that likes change.
I look at the diner and make a light wine.
You just had breakfast.
I miss soda.
When we get back to New York.
Darren mutters to D, "Gaia bless this one with hunger."
Does it look like that there is any where we could get clothes from?
If you are cautious, you might be able to break into someone's house. Naturally, they're not going to be on clotheslines considering the blizzard.
I'm gonna mutter. We should look for one of the houses those men came from. Perhaps they're abandoned, or at least unoccupied.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm going to be fitting into their clothes.
No, maybe not. If they have a little baby or something.
Speak for yourself.
Wolf is great. Anyway, how are we gonna find their houses? I mean, they probably have wives and stuff, right?
You can see the shifting roll of light as on one of the streets ahead, moving through the town slowly, the sheriff's car drives. It's not actually a car, it's a Jeep. Though not open to the elements. The shifting lights, which no doubt are red and blue, move slowly through the town and then further away.
There's an emergency.
No siren.
But the lights.
Patrol. It's a blizzard.
Oh, probably a blizzard thing.
I'm gonna get a bit closer. Well, I'm gonna get a bit closer to the town and see if I can see any houses without any lights on at the moment.
Perception and alertness. At where you are looking at the village, there is a house on your right, followed by another, and another, the diner, and then to your left, on the other side of the road, there is two houses. The second one down has no lights.
Hey, let's sneak around to that second one on the left. Hey, Dave, do you think you can talk to one of the spirits? Like the physical, housing things? And see if there is anyone inside?
I give a nod.
Out of character, when it comes to like Garu kin, they will have spirits watching them, right?
Ken fetches, yes.
Okay.
At least if they're under a certain age. Naturally, if they're 22 or more, you're not turning.
Okay.
I go up to the house, is there a light box or a power thing on the side of the house? A generator, maybe?
There is, in fact, a generator. It's not running. From the cables you can see along the side of the house, it suggests that most likely the circuit breakers are in the basement. Probably to keep them out of the element.
Gotcha. I walk up to the generator and I whisper, "It's been a long time. How are you, Great Weaver?"
Roll your gnosis. As you stroke your hand along your paw against the generator, you are immediately treated to a bit of a static shock to your fur. Your paw jerks back as the generator, though inactive, has... Oh. You're guessing flattery's a little too dishonest for the spirit.
Give a low grunt. So actually, first I give a yelp, or a light yelp and go. Then I give a low grunt and say, "I need help here. I need to know if anyone's inside of this house currently."
Roll again your gnosis. You do finally feel a slight electric charge run through your body. It kind of warms your chest and the base of your neck area a bit. It's almost like when you eat something really hot and spicy, it kind of gives you that warming feeling. You feel curious. You feel like it's payday and you're holding your hand out for your check. Ah, yes. The spirit wants chiminage. It ain't helping you for free.
Okay. Out of character, what counts as chiminage?
Well,
Just secrets or information?
Well, honestly, information, yes, is something they like. Data, info, hell, if you had your credit card, you could maybe tell it your credit card information. Actually, if you can remember it, you could do that off the top of your head. That might satisfy them.
I give a nod and say, in New York, the Wendigo pups, they were killed by, we think, Pentex.
You begin to smell something smoky, something like burning plastic, as you see a small gray smoke rising from the generator, suggesting, I don't care, buddy.
Okay. I'll give the last 4 digits of my credit card. 5777.
You hear a click of the generator. And you feel a sense of relief. An image of an empty room with no lights.
Okay, I can work with that.
Out of character. When you get back to New York, you're going to be missing $300.
Oh my! What
Because
does it?
the generator is going to have given that to its owner so that the owner can upgrade
Replace
it.
the clothes? No.
Yeah.
Replace some old parts.
Replace the clothes we're about to steal.
Fair enough. I walk back to the pack smelling slightly of burnt plastic and singed fur. And I give a nod and a light mutter. It's empty.
Okay, looking about the house, does it look like there's an inn?
There is a fence, typical white picket fence, fairly high. There is a back door with a screen door before it. Sturdy, no windows on it. The windows elevated from the ground of what is no doubt the kitchen. This is the kind of house that D, as you examine it, you recognize houses like this. They're usually in places like Kroder's Pass, out of the way, man versus the elements, precautions taken against wild animals. In fact, you don't even see any trash cans outside or anything resembling where trash would be kept. This is the kind of place where they're used to bears and wolves and all kinds of shit, and they know how to take precaution. Hell, you wouldn't be surprised if you were to walk in there and find it warm without a heater on.
Hey, I know these kind of buildings. We gotta be careful. They take precautions against animals, and, well, looking at us, they probably got precautions against us, too. Because, you know, animals.
Oh, I will say, Snarls, actually all of you, since you're in Lupus, you can smell that from the backyard. It's difficult to smell over the blizzard, but especially though all of you can smell some manner of animal, Snarls, you can identify it for what it is. Chicken coop.
Snarls would... Wait, we brought food with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Snarls would just mention to the others, they have chicken. Probably a chicken coop, to be honest.
Dara just looks between everyone, just like, no.
We don't want to wake them. There could be some kind of alarm for the neighbors.
Yeah, let's
Mention,
serve them.
we gotta take what we should. We got food. We don't need them.
Hey, D. You know you snuck around behind that pack of vampires?
Yep.
Think you can do some kind of similar trick and get around those chickens, get us clothes?
I might be able to do some.
Out of character, can we just use the Umbra to get inside?
Yes and no. Yes, you could. Granted, imagine you're standing in the living room, you step sideways out of the Umbra. Next thing you know, you're either in the hallway or, God forbid, you're in the bathroom with one foot in the toilet.
Can your body merge with objects if you come out of the Umbra?
No?
Like, so you're not going to be like waist buried in the floor.
No, that would kill you.
Okay, just make sure.
So, technically we could.
You just don't know where the fuck you're going to end up unless you have.
Well, somewhere in the
shade.
house, I assume.
Yes.
We can do that.
In New York, if you're on the left, if you're on the sidewalk next to Central Park and step into the Umbra, then step sideways, you're most likely going to be on the other side of the street.
Okay. But can we, like, gauge roughly where we would be in the physical world?
Yes, it's something that more experienced Garu tend to get pretty dang good at.
Can we try and do it?
Would Snarls be able to?
I was about to say, yeah. Could
Yeah,
Snarls...
Tara looks to Snarls and asks, do you think we'd be able to get inside through the Umbra?
We could surely try.
Snarls, could you and me... You can look outside the Umbra while also being inside of it, correct?
Yeah.
Could you and me step into the Umbra and you could guide us into the house?
Or
Sure,
let's just all go. We all need to get in, right?
True.
Gonna be a lot faster that way.
Alright. Snarls would wait for everyone to be looking into his mirror shades. And then once everyone does, he'd hop into the Umbra.
Alright, roll Gnosis. As one, the pack staring into Snarls as Snarls stares at the pack. You feel only the very faintest surge of Gaian energy before you shift. standing now within the Umbra, where though you can see the blizzard's remnants, there is no sign of any life. There are no chickens. There are no humans. There's no birds. There is no life. You're walking through an empty village. But that it's quite simple to go up to the house, which stands tall and empty. And making your way inside isn't so hard in the Umbra. Though, takes a bit of convincing if you want to talk the spirit into opening the door for you.
Do we need to, or could we just go inside?
Nah, you could just force your way inside.
The Umbra.
We should probably talk to the spirit.
Yeah, I'll talk to the spirit. Tara will, approaching, sort of give a bow of the head and ask the spirit, "May we enter?"
There is a warm receive and a faint feel of depression against your fur, as though you've been patted on the head. The urban spirits have always liked you, after all. Yet, at your request, you feel a deep sense of apprehension, a sense of guarding, filled with images of staring eyes, narrowed gazes, glances over shoulders. There is a cold callousness to the environment around you. There is a cold callousness from the eyes of strangers. There is a sense of cold callousness emanating from the house, though it does wish to respect the pact made long ago with your line.
Do I know what it means by that?
Wits and primal urge. The population here is a very secretive and cold population to any outsider. The sense of unease, the sense of being watched, the sense of being unwanted stems from the very nature of Kroder's Pass. Thus, the house, much in the way of its denizens, thus the house, much in the way of its similarly affected homes of Kroder's Pass, feels a need to bar out the outsider. Though it is willing to speak with you, to potentially give you aid, we don't know if it's going to be so receptive to all of you. And if nothing else, it's not going to happen for free.
Tara says, "We do not mean any trouble. We need clothes to better move through the town and track down a Bane spirit, an unwanted Bane spirit in your city, and relieve the population of it. Is there something I may give you in return?"
Your nostrils fill with the smell of cooking steaks. There's a brief hint of perfume, and then the door opens.
Out of character, is that what it wanted in return, or is that just image of the house?
It's not the image of the house telling you something, but spirit's gonna spirit. I will say that the moment Tara steps in, the door closes behind her. It's letting you in. Everyone else, it's pretty much saying, fuck off.
Oh.
So I guess you're in charge of getting clothes for everybody.
I roughly know what everyone's side.
I mean, you can always shout out, "Hey, Darren, how big are you?" And then get every teenage boy's answer.
13 inches.
Shut the fuck up, that's not what I mean.
But that's where we will have our second intermission.
Oh wait, Nylan, with perfect recall, do I know what their sizes are?
Yes.
Hey, yo, nice.
But with that, we will have a very quick intermission so the storyteller can pee, refill his beverage, and grab a yogurt.
Dave's just gonna pet the house.
The house
Be
has got
back
it,
in
like...
a millisec.
Alright, timing.
What'd you say?
You're getting a splinter.
Ow!
Heh.
I'm not joking either. If you pet the house is going to hurt you. This place is not friendly to outsiders.
The hell, man?
God saw fit not to burden this one with wisdom.
I'm going to Gaia something see fit to shove my foot up your butt.
Want to put your money where your mouth is.
I missed my motorcycle, I missed my jacket.
Tara looking through clothes. That looks like it'll fit. That looks like it'll fit. Oh my, this guy's a poor taste in clothes.
You're pretty much having to go into the attic to find like the clothes that were put away from like when the owners were young. So you're wearing clothes that are at least, from the 60s, 70s. So who gets the bell-bottom jeans?
I call the bell bottoms.
I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like.
I call the boots with the fur.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Anywho. So, after everyone's clothed,
Wait, what clothes did I find?
pretty much anything out of the 60s, 70s, maybe 80s, I'm fine with. I don't give a shit.
Football jersey.
Yeah, probably.
No, mine, fuck you.
We're both getting football jerseys.
I call 69.
Alright.
After you are clothed, what is the plan?
If anyone asks, we were hikers who got caught in the storm and looked for the first sign of civilization.
Like, Shaw, brah.
That also means that Snarls is now Hamid.
He's dressing up!
Wait, we also have coats, like winter coats, right?
Nope.
If I found it in the attic.
Clean shirts and Speedos, and that's all you get.
Nice.
Oh my god, I'm not going out in the speed.
That was a joke. Anyways, get on with it.
I know.
No, anyway, I looked at Snarls. Do you think you could track the Bane?
He would nod and then try to use sense worm again.
Fleet, you said there was a Bane spirit in this town, right?
Snarls would nod.
Why don't we go into Umbra and look around this town, try to find this spirit? It'd be a much more easier moving about without having to look through humans.
You can still sense the presence of the Bane within the town. It is a very faint presence, suggesting that the Bane is not a very powerful one, but it is, in fact, present.
Snarls would look to the rest of the group and say, "Any opposition?"
Let's kill that son of a bitch.
Dave starts taking off his clothes again.
Snarls would look at him confused, like, okay, cool. And then say, well, it's definitely still present, so come on then, let's go to the Umbra.
Take us in. And Darren just stares in his shades.
He does the same.
Once we're inside, I'll form over to Krynos.
Darren would have stopped you before, like, you had taken off any of the clothes. Like, dude, any clothes you leave there are gonna be left there.
I'm taking my clothes with me.
Then why take them off now?
So I don't rip them when I transform.
But we can just walk about the town, and when then
So you guys are going to change out of your clothes while we're fighting the spirit?
We're just gonna be in the Umbra so that the clothes don't just... Snarls, take us in.
Snarls would wait for everyone to look and then try to step sideways.
Gnosis. Stepping sideways, the pack is a short distance away from where they had previously been standing. The house further away from them. As they look off to it, faintly it's through the blizzard. The cold striking at any piece of exposed flesh, reddening it within minutes.
Snarls would try to rely on scent to find the Bane Spirit.
As you move through the town, the snow being brushed aside, as you all follow in the tracks of Snarls. Your exposed flesh is positively burning despite how cold it is, but you're managing to stay relatively warm. At least enough so that you can move about without too much irritation. Yet after 20 minutes, you have no hide nor hair of where this Bane is.
Snarls is visibly annoyed, even at one point saying, as a human you can't achieve anything, can you? He would try to use Sense Swim again.
I'm going to walk up to one of the buildings. Actually, no, I'm going to walk over to one of the... Are there any lighting poles or power lines?
Naturally, it's a village.
Okay, I'm going to walk up to one of them and try to communicate with the Weaver. There is a Bane spirit in this town. We wish to remove it. Can you please help us locate it?
The pole your hand is against suddenly becomes somewhat luminous, as down from the wires, streaking, comes this bright yellow light, illuminating the space within the confines of the blizzard. As it takes on the vague shape of a face. Still this pulsating, crackling, electric light, living electricity in the shape of a face. Even as Snarls looks around, in vain, sadly. Dave, the spirit now focused intently on you as Snarls proceeds with hunting down for this Bane. You get a distinct impression and then you hear a television in the building behind you through the glass. It's a small shop. Turn on as it starts going You turn around to see an episode of the Three Stooges on, and one of them tisking at the other. And then it changes its channel. The light shifting slightly in the face, one part becoming more luminous than the other, almost as if an eye is bulging. And the channel changes, this time to the scene of a diner. A waitress down on her luck, smiling at the customers, and then behind the scenes, looking worriedly at something in her hand.
Okay. Do I get the impression that it's suggesting that the diner is where the Bane spirit is?
Telling you something. However, you then feel a strong shock run up through your body before you feel momentarily lightheaded. And realizing, without having done so with intent, you've stepped sideways out of the Umbra, now in the snow on the other side of the street. And the reason you felt so lightheaded is remove a temporary point of gnosis. The spirit took its chiminage.
Oh. I lean against the light post and get my bearings before I look around for the group.
Oh, they're still in the Umbra. There's no sign of them.
Let's join him.
Would they have even seen that?
No, they would have seen the light show, if nothing else. And then you gone.
I'm gonna walk over to the diner.
Before exiting the Umbra to meet with Dave, could I peer out to ensure that there was no one watching?
I won't make you roll for it because, there's no one watching. You just see Dave now making his way toward the diner, trudging through the snow.
Okay, Snarls would wait for everyone to look at his glasses before exiting the Umbra.
Teeth clattering, Dave would begin looking around. Is there any ATM nearby?
There is one at the police station, just inside the front door.
Okay. I'm gonna turn and walk towards there. Walking up to the ATM, I put my hand on it and lean over like I was inserting a card. Well, I inserted nothing. As I whisper into it, I need to withdraw some money from my account. 200.
My guy, do you have Gnosis?
No, I do not. Shit. I can't talk to it, can I?
Not really, no.
Fuck. Okay.
Fortunately, you're not there too long before the pack seems to join you. You can hear the door closing as the entire pack looks at you, probably with a couple of raised eyebrows, and sees you besides two telephone booths and the ATM that's staring at you with its light buzzing.
I mutter something about trying to commune with the spirits, but not having the energy to do so at the moment.
Can you just use it normally?
With what card? I sort of lost mine when we lost our clothes. But I do have a lead, I mutter as I step closer and whisper.
Oh?
Yes, I think the Bane spirit from what I was looking, from what the spirit of the light post, the Weaver, was able to tell me, the Bane spirit, I think, is held up in the diner. Something about a waitress, maybe.
Tara looks over to the diner.
If you two want to, if you four want to go into the Umber and confront the spirit, I can sit back, I guess.
Snarls would mention, you can still come with us.
I look to Snarls and say,
Hey, guys. Cameras.
are there cameras looking at us?
Looking behind you and up, there's one in the corner on the other side of the small little room between the door you came into the ATM and the door into the station proper.
Is it positioned towards us?
Naturally, it's watching the ATM doors.
I'm gonna walk out into the street then.
Could I know if cameras can pick up, have microphones at this, in 92?
No, they don't have microphones. But they are recording you.
I'm gonna walk into the street and wait for everyone to join me before whispering, I got no fucking gnosis. I burnt through it trying to get here, trying to get all this information.
I can still bring us to the Umbra.
I know, but it's gonna be very difficult. Are you
Not
sure?
for me.
Well, go ahead.
Snarls would wait for everyone to look at him.
Don't want to look up and down the street if anyone's seeing us again?
Snarls would.
Without having to roll, you can see that down the street the diner is quite brightly lit, as it's probably the biggest social hub in this town.
Is there any alleyways or maybe behind a house that we could go by?
Just further around the corner behind the house, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Fleas and say, not here. As I grab him by the shoulder and guide him towards behind the house.
Snarls looks confused, as if he doesn't get the concept of cameras record, they see.
Humans. We don't want them to just disappear on them if they're looking at it. And we're new in town. They're probably looking at it.
Snarls would just follow.
Go ahead and roll it on the gnosis. Though it is difficult, you are able to back once more across into the Umbra, leaving the streets unlit and barren. Save for Helios illuminating the sky and the blizzard, creating its blinding fog of anything beyond 10 feet before you. You are able to now move more cautiously through the Umbra. And Dave, as you are once again in the Umbra, you feel the sudden surgence of Gaian energy. Recover a point of gnosis as one of the spirits of the village eases you into place.
I'm under a thank you or prayer.
By this point, Snarls would head towards what would resemble the diner, but obviously more twisted and changed in the Umbra.
The diner's interior is a very rustic place. The entire place on its interior is made of hardwood, with hardwood surfaces, lots of trophies mounted on the wall, deer heads, a stuffed fox in one corner, and above the beers cooler, there is a Arctic Wolf logo. A pool table off to a side, It is completely barren and devoid of any presence of any mortal. The jukebox, unlit and unilluminated, plays nothing.
But any sign of the bane?
No, none whatsoever.
Snarls would peer out of the umbra to see if he could identify the woman that Dave was talking about.
The gauntlet within the village is thicker, something that you've been fortunate enough to experience. Yet, as you peer out of the umbra, you can see very distinctively that everything is very shadowy towards the edges, very monochromatic version of the physical world. Everything is very blurry, and it's very difficult to read the menus or anything written. Even facial expressions are very blanked and blurry. Shadowy messes. Noises are distorted and echoing. A mixture of clatters and bangs, of voices murmuring to each other, and then sudden bouts of laughter, clackings. However, for smell, completely unaffected. You can smell the human beer, the food. In fact, you can smell a steak that is completely raw being served. Smell of snow intermingling with the smell of sweat. And you can smell a sweet perfume, the smell of peaches, coming from a woman, a waitress, who is serving one of the patrons.
Did you just say a raw steak is being served?
Yes.
Is that what the woman was concerned about?
You have no idea. And you don't know either.
Well,
When you
Could I take a look at the man who identifies features, or is that too difficult?
Too difficult to make out their expression. Though you notice he's not alone. There are others with him, all being served the same raw steak.
Snarls would, well, to the rest of the group, only look like he's taken a single step back as he adjusts his glasses, saying, Dave, you mentioned a woman, didn't you?
yes. A waitress. She was concerned about something, or weirded out.
In this diner, there's a waitress, peachy smell. She's serving a couple men, came from the forest, being given raw meat. They smell like fresh from the woods, pine cones, a mix of all of it.
Are these other Wendigo? Are these Wendigo?
I mean, I could go for raw meat. I only had that feeling after my first change. My guess is, if they're any kind of Garu, they're gonna be Wendigo.
Motherfucker.
I mean, if there are elders, should we just get out of here? I mean, if they're in the village, they're probably gonna have this Bane thing under control. Or maybe they're fueling up for the fight.
Maybe. Snows, is there a place? Is there a basement in this place?
OC, does there seem to be one by taking a quick glance around?
Well, taking a quick glance around, no. But then again, their basements aren't usually visibly out in the open for the public. You're as new to this place as he is.
Snarls would look at him like, and just shrug, and then would start to take a closer look around.
Wild goose chase. I'm under.
You would peek out one more time just to take another look at the waitress and the people that are being served.
Go ahead and roll. As you get a brief glimpse of the waitress staring at a picture, you see her lips, though the rest of her face is shrouded in shadow and blur, frown. And the picture seems to be of another small human.
Child.
I can't see any, standing features like the color of her or the child's hair, right?
Not really.
Would anything different seem to be happening with the people she served?
No, they're just eating. You can hear the voices, but again, it echoes and distorts heavily. They sound like the locals, so native.
Maybe I misread the spirit, I muttered. Maybe it was the house instead.
Snarls would almost look like he's come back to his senses, looking to Dave, saying, "There's also some kind of painting of a young child that she was looking at. Can't really tell the rest."
What was her expression?
Couldn't really see it. The only other thing I can say is that the men or people who came from the woods, they seem to be native from around here.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here before they sense us, if they haven't already.
Can they?
We can't leave while there's a Bane spirit.
No, we can't, but we should leave the diner at least.
Snarls would try to catch a scent of the Bane spirit once more.
Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, is there... Wait, we can just track the Bane spirit from, scent and stuff, right?
Though you can sense the Bane spirit. It's not far. You get that distinct impression. It's somewhere close by. And this woman carries its stench on her. But it's not of her. She's been near it, though, very close to it. And whatever it is it's doing. Her scent is burned into your mind.
Snarls would say the Bane is very nearby, and quite frankly, she smells. There's a stench of that Bane which surrounds her. She's been near it. Let's just look around. We're not too far away from it.
Wait, you said she was looking down at a picture of a child?
He would nod.
What did she... Wait, what did she look like when she was looking at it?
Couldn't tell.
Ah, damn. I mean, maybe
it was the dog.
Or maybe it was the kid she was looking at. Or her husband or something.
Can you tell how fresh the scent is?
Just follow her scent.
Has she left her scent on anything? Can you track it backwards?
If you can, it might lead us to the kid. I wouldn't be surprised if the kid's the one that she's worried about the most.
I've already tracked the scent as much as I can. We're better off just looking at what's nearby.
We could always wait a little bit, follow her to her home. If the kid's the one possessed, then, well...
I don't...
If we're gonna follow her to her home, we might be waiting a...
That's
We
my
got her in
point.
the morning.
It's...
Right.
The Bane isn't strong, I can tell. It's... Something
All
about...
that's around are houses. The Bane is nearby. It must be in one of them. And if this woman has been near this bane, that she has its stench on it, maybe the bane is inside. Maybe if we find her house, we'll find the bane.
Yeah.
Snarls would nod and start looking.
Perhaps to everyone's surprise, Snarls, followed by Darren, followed by Dave, followed by Tara. D, more or less, just looking around and then seeing the pack moving all distinctly in one direction, chases after them. Sees that you all come to the same house, Snarls catching the woman's scent, Darren seeing a woman's name on the front mailbox, as well as an envelope with the diner's name on it. Dave, seeing that all the windows are drawn closed, and save for one in the second story. And Tara just gets a feeling.
I'm gonna lead the group around back to the backyard, where it'll draw less attention.
I will say that you find the back door unlocked. And when you make your way upstairs, looking through the house, you will find a young boy, only 8 years old. He's shaking and sweating profusely, furiously sweating. A green mucus coming from his pores as he trembles in his bed with his eyes occasionally opening and rolled back into his head. This is the boy being slowly eaten by the bane, his soul not yet consumed. Once you have stepped out of the child's room, removed your vestments and stepped sideways.
I got a rolling pin from the kitchen first.
Oh, come on.
I've never killed the Bane before. I'm doing what I know.
My character isn't gonna wait for you to find a rolling pin. She's going for it.
I have a question. Actually, no, more like an order. Wait, shouldn't we cover the exit so that thing can't get away?
Just go for it, my guy.
Really?
My character doesn't want to wait anymore. Let's go for it.
There's 5 Garu versus 1 Bane Spirit. I think it's not getting away.
Yeah, and it's weak. Let's be real.
Anywhooser. Roll initiative, because the moment you enter the room, claws, teeth, and eyes glaring for this thing's existence, immediately it releases its hold from the child, and it wants to run away. Tara, the first one to see the Bane attempting to flee, immediately, talons drawn, a red streak of fur moving to confront. It is a almost copy-paste of the child, though sunken and gone, almost skeletal and emaciated, with green liquid pouring from its hollow eyes and mouth, and its entire body this yellow and blackish dust that seems to chip away and fade into a fine powder at the same time.
I want to grab it, like just pounce on it, grab it, and try to fucking rip its head off with my, teeth.
Moving through the room, it is a genuine blur of motion. Just this red streak before it topples the Bane off of the vacant bed and onto the ground, her jaw snapping down on its skull as it produces an unaudible screech. You can feel your jaws clench and bite down, cracking through the surface of its face. You can feel the Bane then moving beneath you as it gets ready to retaliate. Enter into the room, each coming with it, ready for your own confrontation with this thing, as it jostles Tara's ribs, but manages to do nothing more than produce a deep growl from her as she slams down her hands on its chest, pinning it to the floor.
Could I, like, rip its legs off with, like, my mouth so I can't run away?
Taking one of its ankles in its mouth, despite how thin it is, it's like a tough piece of meat as you bite and pull, cracking almost like hard flesh that's been burnt and has to peel off. D, your pack is suitably, viciously ripping this bane to pieces.
Well, there is another leg of which I can grab onto, correct?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. I'm going to walk up to it, wrap my claws around it like I'm screwing on some kind of pipe, so I get a nice firm grip into its spiritual flesh. And with one of my feet on its hip, I am going to rip that thing off.
As you grasp hold of its emaciated leg and foot and pull, you feel it budge, but the leg stays firm, bending back as you play tug of war with it.
I'm going to try to pin its left arm down while yanking at it.
This is literally about to become, we're going to tie a part of you to a horse and a part of you to a car and fall. In this case, Tara is the car. Just don't tell her I said that. I don't want her to think I called her fat.
Ow.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
What the hell?
As you grasp at its hand, it wraps its entire hand around your wrist and twists sharply. Roll to soak.
Oh god.
Twisting your wrist, you hear a pop in your forearm as it rolls you to your right into Tara. The two of you making contact. Tara,
I'm not budging.
roll your stamina and brawl to see if you can just stay in place as this thing uses your buddy to hit you.
I swear to God, man.
You are knocked clean off of the Bane as both of you go tumbling into the wall, striking it with such force that the physical world would not be able to withstand. As it is, the house endures with a groan, the walls bulging outward in the entire room before resetting themselves instantaneously back into their rigid place.
I'm gonna cry out, Darren, help!
Darren, be the Arum.
Yes. Is it still on the ground, or is it, like, up somewhat?
It's somewhat. I think it's pinned by
It's
two people.
somewhat up now. Effectively, its lower half is on the ground, yet in its freakishly skinny form, it's a third of its upper body has reached up in seconds to a semi-upright position.
Does it have bones that I can sharpen my claws in?
Maybe. One way to find out.
Yes, there is. I'm gonna sharpen my claws ferociously into, like, just scraping down from its head down to just where I can't hit my other packmate holding its legs.
Strength and brawl.
Yes. Yes.
D snarls. You hear a crunch as the wood beams bend beneath Darren as he leaps over you, his knees brought up to his waist. He slams his feet down onto the Bane Spirit pelvic region, crumpling its midsection downward. As his hand seizes its head, he rakes his claws down its flesh, from the top of its head down to its upper ribs. Its blood, black and green, begins to seep from the deep wounds inflicted.
I have a question. Would it take up my turn if I were to use my 2 dots in Ancestors to try and heighten one of my abilities? Can I spend Rage?
Yeah, spend a point of rage and commune with your ancestors. Ask them for guidance on blank.
Brawl.
One of your ancestors hears your call, and you can feel the spiritual shillelagh that he carries in his hand as you feel his spirit subsume and guide you. Time to whack a bitch. So, how do you proceed to play whack-a-mole with a Bane spirit?
Okay, so who's on what with Bane?
Its legs are being held by D and Snarls. Darren is pretty much crushing its pelvic region, while raking his claws down its body, over its bones beneath the thin layer of not skin, yet quite kind of skin. While its black, inky, ichorish blood mixes with the green ooze and mucus. Oh, yeah. And, Dave is lying on the ground next to where you are.
Sucks to suck.
Fuck off.
So, Dave, do get a point of rage back from that slightly humiliating game of whack-a-mole that played with you.
I want to... Would it be 2 actions if I were to say I wanted to pounce on it again, like 1 foot basically coming down and crushing its arm, and then like swinging my claws for its throat?
Yes, you might have to split your dice pool.
Okay, then I'm just gonna go for the throat, pounce on it and go for the throat.
Alright. Go ahead and strength and brawl. Ooh. Aaron, just as you pull your claws up, seeing the wicked gleam of them covered in the ickish blood of the Bane, you see Tara land in front of you. The Bane once again shoved in full down to the ground as she rakes her claws through its throat. You can all hear the spatter of black ichor striking the wall and painting the ground beneath it. The Bane spirit, jerking its midsection upward, twists its body almost in a complete knot as it tries to shake free those holding it. Tara is immediately knocked off, skidding to the side, knocking into the side of the bed. It swerves to the other side of the room, the corner post striking the wall as Tara is forced to lean against the mattress, not to fall completely. Darren is nudged, but refuses to move. Whereas D takes a slight jab in the shoulder from its foot kicking, but nothing else than that. Snarls, he doesn't even feel it. The Bane then, rising upward, strikes with one hand out for Darren, the other one whipping up and around, coming down for Tara's leg.
So it's just whipping, it's like flailing arms at me, yeah?
No, its hand is closed like a knife.
Oh.
I want to, like, duck down and scrape my now sharpened claws, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, like, dodge to the side, still, like, on it, and, in the same motion, scrape my talons down its hand to its shoulder.
That will require a raid.
Beautiful.
So first, Dex and Athletics. Meanwhile, Tara, what are you doing?
Tara's gonna dodge.
Dex and Athletics. Both of you glide with the skills taught to you by your tribes as the Bane lashes for both, missing in both accords. The hand striking the ground where Tara would have been smacking one of the boards so it snaps clean in half. Whereas the other one whiffs past Darren as he strength and brawl. In horrible gasp seems to fill the room as upward projecting from its mouth, ichorish blood spews as the green mucus clings to Darren's claws as he rakes it up, entrails slipping out and splatting blood as he pulls the claws up, cracking through one of its ribs. You can say it felt that.
Cool. Is this leg that I've got my mouth on still, like, on as well?
I'm guessing you want to change that.
Yeah, I want to rip it off.
Snarls, you know what, D, both of you roll strength and roll.
Alright, I'd like to say that if I'm ripping off its legs, I'm readjusting my hand to get right up to the top where the tip of the top of the leg bone meets the pelvis that's now crushed. And gonna try and wrap my hand around top it to give me even more pull.
Meanwhile, Snarls would do it more beastly. In the same area he did it before, just tearing almost slightly recklessly.
Distinct tear as pulled needily from the socket. The one leg is pulled free from Snarls. The other leg is popped off, cracking violently by D. Dave, this thing now limply, practically waiting for execution. And after that swatting it gave you, you wouldn't mind returning the favor.
As I get up, I grunt. Still think we could take a swarm of these things? As I walk over. Is anyone grabbing onto its head at the moment?
Not particularly.
Can I spend rage?
Yes?
I'm going to grab both sides of its head and start pulling.
Strength and brawl. You grab and twist that thing off like popping the cork out of a champagne bottle. At once, as you pull it free, its flesh rises, ballooning outward before cracking inward violently in quick jerks as it melts, simultaneously burning away ash soot, collapsing in on itself before spreading out as a thick, tarish mud.
Oh, thank God.
Would there be a way to get rid of the remnants of the beast?
Not particularly, unless you can find a glen within the Umbra to wash off.
No, fuck that. There's no downside to being covered in its blood, right?
Not really. I mean, other than you have worm juice all over you.
And there's no downside to leaving the remnants on the floor here.
It's in the Umbra.
Oh, wait. So if we go back to, like, the physical world, we'll still be covered in this stuff?
Yes.
Oh.
You wonder how much she would mind if you borrowed her shower.
You know...
That would probably... I don't know about that one.
I mean, we did her a service. The least she can do is give us her shower.
And maybe some extra kids. Anyway.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
Dave makes a mental note of...
I only want wolves.
Shush.
The Bane destroyed. You have fought the worm where it breeds. And the child on the other side, in the real physical world, now breathes and sleeps peacefully.
Oh, I guess Uli didn't need the tree.
That shit was kind of fun, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, quiet, the kid's sleeping.
Oh.
I whisper in my breath, under my breath. That was fun? Yeah, you weren't ragdoll.
No. Darren just grins at him. I wasn't. Anyway, someone keep a lookout. I'm gonna shower.
I'll watch the
Yeah.
As
Great.
all of this happens, Tara is just silently looking back towards the room that they fought the Bane in.
In the reality of things, in the physical world, there is no evidence of the fight which just took place. No evidence of the heroism you showed. No evidence of violence which happened. The child sleeps blissfully unaware.
I look to everyone and ask, you think that's enough to get us to speak to the Wendigos without being killed on sight?
Ain't got proof.
I think we're covered in it.
Might be true. Might be proof enough. If we can get to him.
I wouldn't risk it. Plus, we've got other things to do.
Yeah, we need more proof. Still, that fight, I think it kind of proves we're not ready to take on a swarm of those things just yet.
Also, when I'm done with my shower, I'm going to clean everything, so there's no trace of the ichor.
Meanwhile, Snarls would be completely quiet, just watching the child and every now and then looking at the windows which are boarded up. Completely silent.
Once you are all cleaned, groomed, and ready, where is it that the pack goes next?
I'm gonna go downstairs to the fridge. Do they have any, soda in the fridge?
No.
Shit.
I still kind of want to find where that truck came. Because if there is like some sort of, I don't know, warehouse, then maybe we might find something on the operation there. When it comes to Grand Enterprise and Omnicron Oil, they're both working together on the mine thing. We could take a look at the mine first.
Got plenty of time.
Off to the mines then.
Everybody please roll a Dex and Stealth. Let's just say when you creep up to the site of the mine, this is what you see. And that's where we will end.